You know what really drives me crazy, drives me batty, is the fact that this is what the Chronicle has become. They're not alone, but I'm going to concentrate on them because it affects me. And I'll get to that in a second. They are at the forefront of what I refer to as press release journalism. That's what they do. They're internet schwabs, schmucks, hang-alongs. And I'm angry now. It drives me batty that what they do, what they constitute as their version of journalism these days, is they'll take a story, literally sometimes, or they'll react to a story. Let's just give you an example. The story that I broke first the other day about Julie Hayner retiring. But I went into detail as to what, in my mind, based on research that I did to cover that and to give you the insight on that. And it's not just that story, but I'll concentrate on that and I'll get to the Chronicle element to it because it's the last situation that I can talk about. And I'm angry because what they do, this is what they do now. They don't do any research. They don't have any people who call up, do the hard, old-fashioned way of reporting and analyzing what they report. Let's go to the Hayner deal. I have been wondering aloud for a couple of years now when she would quit, whether or not she would really retire. Would she say that she was retiring? Did she see the handwriting on the wall about the fact that the KTVU ratings were down, that 10 o'clock news was becoming just another newscast and a rather ordinary one at best? Yes. Were there other factors? The fact that Frank Somerville had left due to you know what? And the fact that Dennis Richmond had retired and her friend, Somerville's really good friend, Mark Ibanez, also told to retire, by the way. But Mark left a couple of years ago. No, they don't research. They don't investigate. I mean, investigate, not like they're looking for some kind of something, an element to investigate. They run with a story after they get it from, I wonder where. And all they do is take the press release version of anything. They don't go out and about. They don't make phone calls. Sure, they got a couple of quotes, which they got from the video that Hayner put out last night, Tuesday night. That's their form of investigation. That's what drives me crazy. Do they do any, again, hardcore reporting? Do they make a call? Do they try to get Hayner herself? Do they call around, talk to other people, media people from other publications, websites? No, they're lazy. They got all this millions of dollars, and yeah, I know they're getting killed right now like a lot of other newspapers. But folks, these Putins, their website, SFGate and sfchronicle.com, they're owned by Hearst. Hearst has billions of dollars in properties, outlets, and real estate. They are billion. They're leaders in the media empire. So the Chronicle, even with all its losses, has multitudes of millions of dollars in vast financial resources. I'm here struggling to make ends meet. I'm angry. It bothers me. Chronicle hasn't had a media reporter for years. Hell, they barely covered radio years ago. And they used Ben Fong Torres, who was last relevant in the Jan Winter days of Rolling Stone. That's why they got rid of Ben Fong Torres. Chronicle doesn't cover media. Chronicle doesn't cover television. They take snippets of stories that come along every now and then, like this one. And then they'll run some generic shit story and they'll publish quotes, press release journalism. They don't have a background. Look, folks, I'm not saying I'm the New York Times, as I've always stated. I am me, and I cover stories the old-fashioned way sometimes when I'm not giving opinion or when I'm not researching and trying to get the scoops for you. It drives me batty again that they're allowed to get away with it. I want to call them out. I wish an aggregator site like an SFIS, they won't do this because they kiss the Chronicle's ass too, would call up and ask them, why you Chronicle don't have a media reporter to cover television, to cover, well, radio, there's nothing to cover anymore. You don't have that. Well, we don't have much money. And thus, folks, this is what you get from the Chronicle. A press release, bullshit, banal, vanilla story of a prominent media person who called it quits after 27 years. I gave you the story. I'm going to give you a lot more stuff that you don't even know about, but I'm going to tell you. That drives me batty. It drives me crazy. And the Chronicle will never, ever, ever, and I'm glad in this instance, they'll never credit me. It's beyond them. They have their little underlings go out and do whatever they do. It's a mystery. The Chronicle is not alone. There's the Bang newspapers, the so-called Bay Area news group papers like the Mercury News, the East Bay Times. You have, I think, the Marin Independent. None of these folks. Oh, it's going to kill them when I have some material coming up. It's going to make them even worse than they are. Folks, to conclude here, I need your assistance, your support, your help. Otherwise, I'm no longer. And again, I know I'm not exactly a pleasant dude to observe every day, but some of you come here because you're looking for something more akin to the truth or a little bit more lineage than what you're going to get at like a fucking SF Gate. Shame on them. They don't care anymore. They don't give a damn. And they're not going to credit me. Not that I need their credit because of ego. I work my ass off to give to you the edge, the predictions sometimes, and yes, even the scoops, the first reported. And the Chronicle is useless. It's been useless for years. At least they had columnists like Kurt Kane or people like Glenn Dickey or Art Poppy. And now they steal, not from me. They don't credit. They just, they're like little whatever. Sharks on blood. They grab. There's no analysis. There's no background. And I, for one, will call them out. And I don't give a shit whether they acknowledge me or not. They will know. And I will call them out every time they do non-credits. And when they do steal. Boy, I wish I had a third. I wish I had a molecular third of what they have in terms of resources. Please support independent journalism or bloggery, whatever you want to call it.